now we are going to look at writing the body of Jacques Cousteau, and that is where we are going to get our text evidence from our passage. So we look at our passage, Jacques Cousteau. And the first thing that we are going to talk about is the first main idea, which is that Jacques Cousteau was a famous inventor. So that means my second paragraph of my essay, which is my first paragraph in my body, is going to be about his what? His inventions. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to start off with this fourth paragraph right here, where I've highlighted, because they wanted to study life underwater, Cousteau and Gagnon worked on a system that would allow them to stay underwater for longer times. The first aqua lung device was a success. So I'm going to start off this first paragraph, and I'm going to say, I'm going to skip a line. I come up here. I'll start my next paragraph. So I'm skipping this line, coming down to this line, and then I'm going to indent because it is a new paragraph. And I'm going to say Jacques Cousteau, or I'm going to say the first main idea of the passage, stop sign, skip a line, Jacques Cousteau is that he became a famous inventor. I think this is the main idea because it explains how he became an inventor, period. Alright? The first main idea of the passage, Jacques Cousteau, is that he became a famous inventor. I think this is the main idea because it explains how he became an inventor. Jacques Cousteau was interested in sea life. In order to study these sea creatures, he needed a way to stay underwater for longer times.
Can I just open this door and you listen? I don't want to bother them.
Alright, he needed a way to stay underwater for longer times. Okay? He teamed up with an engineer to help him create an aqua lung device. y'all a second and let you get called up. Well, it wasn't called that to begin with. That's something that it evolved into, and you got to understand too that he's French, and so it's still in France maybe known as something like that translates into aqua lung device. Alright, so now, we are going to, that was his first invention, and that helped him to stay underwater longer. But then, he needed something to help him capture photos of these sea creatures. So he worked, and he invented a camera that was able to work underwater. So I'm going to say, next, he invented a camera that worked. Stop sign, skip a line, but when I skip that line, I'm at the bottom, so I'm going to go to a third page. Alright, so he invented a, let's do this. Okay. Next, he invented a camera that worked underwater. Okay? In 1950, so I'm just going to say later, he was able to turn a British sea vessel into a research ship. Okay? Alright, so let's kind of go back and look at what we've got so far, because I have finished my second paragraph. Alright, it says, the first main idea of the passage, Jacques Cousteau, is that he became a famous inventor. I think this is the main idea because it explains how he became an inventor. Jacques Cousteau was interested in sea life. In order to study these sea creatures, he needed a way to stay underwater for longer times. He teamed up with an engineer to help him create an aqua lung device. Next, he invented a camera that worked underwater. Later, he was able to turn a British sea vessel into a research ship. I'm going to close it off by saying these inventions allowed Cousteau the chance to work with the National Geographic Society. creating films about the sea. Okay? So that ends my first paragraph, or my first body paragraph. So if you look at it, I started off by saying the first main idea of the passage, Jacques Cousteau, is that he became a famous inventor. And then I talk about his inventions, and I talk about how these inventions allowed him the chance to work with the National Geographic Society, creating films about the sea. So now I'm done with my first body paragraph. So I'm going to stop it there and let you guys catch up, and then we'll pick back up and do our second body paragraph, which is going to cover him as an activist.